Hey, what's up you guys? So for today's video, I'm going to be introducing you guys to Gypsy, the African Grey. Yesterday, I adopted her, and it's quite the story that I'm going to tell you. But basically, there's a store here in Michigan called Parrotsville, and they allow people to surrender birds to them. And so my mom and I went there, and they had a bunch of parrots that were for adoption, basically. And they had 3 African Greys, and I felt really bad for them. There was Gypsy, and then there was 2 other African Greys. The 2 other African Greys, I was actually going to adopt one of them, but they weren't up for adoption yet. What had happened to those 2 was their owner died, and they were around 18 years old. But yeah, their owner got sick. I think their owner had cancer, and when she started to get really bad, and just before she went into the hospital, one of them started plucking all the feathers out of its chest, and then she ended up boarding them at this bird place when she went to the hospital, but she ended up dying, and I felt really bad for them. Please don't do that. I felt really bad for the one that plucked all its feathers, and I wanted to adopt him, but they weren't up for adoption yet because they're still trying to work everything out with the lady's will, and they've been living there for like 4 months. I ended up going back there a few more times to play with all the African Greys and kind of spend time with them and get to know them. And at first, Gypsy was pretty aggressive towards me. She wouldn't let me take her out, and she was kind of like biting at me and lunging at my face and stuff like that. That's another reason why I was kind of leaning towards the other African Greys. What are you doing? Please don't chew on my shirt, you silly bird. Come on. Basically, I ended up putting a down payment on Gypsy, and I went back to visit her again, and she was really starting to warm up to me, and I decided to adopt her because I felt really bad. Gypsy's 4 years old, and her owner originally got her in Colorado because he lived in Colorado, but then he moved here to Michigan with his parents, but he ended up getting a job back in Colorado, so he had to move back, and the place he was moving didn't allow birds. So he decided to surrender Gypsy to this bird place. I thought it was really sad because he had Gypsy for 4 years. She was probably bonded with him, and he just kind of left her at this bird store, surrendered her, and moved to Colorado. And I mean, if that were me, I would just try to find somewhere else to move that allowed birds. I wouldn't just abandon my bird. That would literally be like me moving and surrendering Mango. You know, like it just doesn't make sense to me. So I felt really bad for her, and I decided to adopt her. And in this store, you could tell she was very stressed out and uncomfortable, and that's part of the reason why she was aggressive too. And I've literally only had her for less than 24 hours, and she's already warmed up to me so much. She's so much more calm. She makes all these funny like beeping sounds and little sirens and stuff, and I think it's so cute. And I don't know, it just makes me really happy that she's already, you know, kind of calming down and starting to get used to me. And I don't know, I just want to give her a good home. I hope you guys don't think I'm crazy. I did visit her a few times before I adopted her, and she's such a sweet bird, and African Greys are so intelligent, and I don't know, I just love them. And also, she can fly. She has never had her wings clipped. Her previous owner started to train her on how to fly to you. So she actually, when she's on her perch, sometimes she'll like fly towards you, and if you put your arm out, she'll land on you, or she'll try to land on your shoulder. And sometimes she flies off of my shoulder and then like turns around and flies back to me, and it's really cute. And I don't plan on clipping her wings because she never had her wings clipped before. I plan on just letting her fly, and as long as I don't have any issues and she doesn't get herself into any trouble, I'm gonna keep her flighted. Right now, Gypsy's in just an old bird cage we have, and I ordered her a new cage that is coming in a week. So once that's all set up, I'll show it to you guys. Yeah, I'm just super excited. I hope you guys love Gypsy as much as I do. I highly encourage you guys, if any of you do get a bird, try to find one that's up for adoption, because it's so common for people to surrender their birds because they live a long time, or because they get a bird because they think it's a good idea, but then they end up not liking the bird because it's too loud or whatever. Or even in a lot of cases, the owner dies and the bird gets left behind because of how long they live. So it is really unfortunate, all the birds that are up for adoption. And they had so many birds, guys, that were up for adoption. And if you guys have any bird stores that allow surrenders or bird sanctuaries or anything like that, I highly encourage you to go adopt a bird, because there are plenty of sweet birds out there who who just want a loving home, and they do deserve it. And yeah, it's much better than getting it from a breeder or a store. Definitely try to buy whenever you can. Come back here. See, she just did it. She flew off of me and she came to me. Where are you going, Gypsy? Come on. So yeah, this is Gypsy, the new addition to our family. I'm so glad I adopted her, and I'm so excited to see what kind of mischief we get into. Right, Gypsy? Alright guys, so that's it for today's video. If you guys liked it, give it a big thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel. I post videos every week. Check out my social media. The links to those will be in the description below. I'll see you guys in my next video, and say goodbye to Gypsy.